Water scarcity is an issue affecting many people in the world. Over 1 billion people lack access to clean, potable water. The people who lack access to water dedicate much of their time in finding and carrying water for cooking, cleaning, and drinking. Many of the people who search for water include women and children. Children often cannot go to school because they have to get water. Even worse, many families bring back water that isn't clean enough for cooking or drinking, which leads to diseases such as cholera, dysentery, and chronic diarrhea. Every minute, a child dies from a water-related disease. It is time for the world to wake up and recognize that all people have a right to safe drinking water. This is Kwangamor, a village in Busia County, western part of Kenya, where access to water is a big challenge. Every day, different families like this one have to walk for several hours in search of water that is used for cooking, drinking, and bathing. Many children go to school several hours late because they have to help their parents in search of this scarce commodity. After many kilometers of walking, this is the quality of water that is accessed by these families. These families in Kwangamor have to carry back heavy gallons of water to their homes. This is just an example of the many places in the world that are facing the challenge of access to clean, potable water.
My name is Leslie. I'm a master's student studying environmental governance in the University of Freiburg, and sharing a personal experience with access to water. I was once in Yila in rural northern Ghana, where I served as a volunteer on a project on rural development. Yila is a small community which do not actually have access to potable water. They rely on a stream as a main source of water. And as an individual who was born and raised in a city, it was a pretty dicey situation for me from the first instance. I was used to showering and getting access from tap water. But in Yila, I had to cope with what was available. I was serving as a teacher in the community school, which was challenged more importantly because of inadequate access to water. Students have to trek for about 4 hours to get water, and this water is usually not really clean. They have to sieve it and boil it before they could actually drink it. This was part of our effort, or contribution to the community as volunteers, to actually educate them on how to actually use water. And how the school was actually supposed to start at 8 o'clock. However, academic session usually start at 10 because students have to go for water each morning, spending 4 hours on the road to and fro. As a native of the place, that was the only source of water they knew. But for me, as an outsider, drinking that water was really a turning point in my life. I couldn't imagine from the first time people drinking that particular water. People using water which was clearly unclean for cooking, for bathing. As an outsider, I found it really difficult to cope with the situation, knowing my background as living in a city where water was always available and was always clean. Imagining and living with people depending on such bad quality water was a hard pill for me to swallow. Adapting or coping with them for over a week, I personally developed health problems, developed skin rashes because of the unhygienic nature of the water. And with this problem that I started developing, I had to buy potable water to drink. This made me realize that water as a basic necessity, as a basic good, is not readily available to everybody. Water a basic necessity, yet very scarce in Yola. That is how the people of Yola lived, with poor access to quality water. Looking at people living in cities, water is no problem. Water is seen as a basic commodity that everybody uses. However, we need to acknowledge the fact that this is not the same everywhere. There are millions of people who do not have access to potable water, and many are faced with diverse illness, diverse waterborne diseases, and many are also faced with physical danger in accessing this water. Comparing this experience to my experience as living in a city and as a student here in Freiburg, many students or many people have not actually experienced what I've experienced. And knowing that as water flows, it's not always the same. This is the injustice in the world we live in. For me, it was a momentary experience. But for the people of Yola, they have no choice. And this is how they have to live each and every day of their lives. In contrast to my experience growing up, people do not even think of putting off the tap. Just like here in Freiburg, water is so abundant that we do not actually know that there are a lot of people who do not actually have access to water. Water here is clean and potable. And that explains the fact why a lot of people do not actually know that water scarcity really exists. And there are people who are actually suffering.
Water crisis is a war against humanity, and we all have to contribute in fighting it. As an individual, you can support the activities of water organizations such as Charity Water, which are contributing to making a difference by providing access to potable water. Thank you.